Thanks for checking out ChartGuys.com, home of technical analysis education in both the stock market and cryptocurrency worlds. See the links in the description of this video for more information on our two courses, entries and exits on the fundamentals of technical analysis, as well as our new course on trading cryptocurrency strategy. Purchase both and receive a 20% off bundle discount. Thanks for checking us out. Let's get on to the technical analysis. Hey everyone, going to be looking at Bitcoin Ethereum Litecoin BCH here, which has had some action over the past few days. Before I get into the analysis, just a topic I want to cover real quick, and it's over trading and discipline. So on days like today, and there are certainly days where this happens very often, where there's a lack of volatility and a lack of volume and a lack of trading opportunity. So it's important for us to adjust our trading style if we are day trading and we're used to making, during active days with a lot of opportunity, maybe 1 to 3 to 5 trades a day, cutting that back. There are days where I don't trade at all. If I don't see the setup, I'm not going to force anything, because there's days where if you are trying to do the same thing that you're normally doing in very bullish conditions with a lot of volume and volatility, you're obviously going to be giving back money. And I'm saying this right now because not only did the cryptocurrency space have a slow, dull day, but stocks were dead. And a lot of people are trying to trade stocks in a very slow day. And again, just giving back money. So that's certainly not something that we want to be doing. There's also something in terms of comparing stocks with the cryptocurrency space. I know that with stocks that the most volatile, most action is going to take place every single morning at 9:30 a.m. to 11 a.m. Eastern. That's when the stock market opens. That's when there's the most volume and volatility and action. So when I was back day trading stocks, I would make the majority of my trades in the morning in that window where there was the most opportunity, and then not trade at the end of the day, because I found that statistically, just looking back at my history, that I was giving back a lot of money the second half of the day. So striking while the iron is hot and not having the same style of trading in all situations. We need to tone it down and pull back and sit on our hands. And I've been saying that a lot the past couple of days, where if there's a scenario where I see the range is tightening like we're seeing right now, I'll be sitting on my hands to prevent from feeling the need. Again, it's an emotion where we're feeling the want to gamble, to have that rush, the feeling of a successful trade. We have to shut that down to not make mistakes. So having a goal is fine for the day. So let's say you want to make a certain amount of profit each day. It's fine to have that and to have that goal, but you need to make sure that you're not forcing trades to try and hit it. If let's say your goal is $200 a day and you're at $100 and you say, oh man, I need that other 100 and the day's coming to an end. Let's see what I can do here. That's also a mindset that's going to get you into trouble and get you to force trades and lose money. So that's why really the people that I see that are quitting their jobs and going into the cryptocurrency space full time, it worries me, because I know we're not going to see this kind of volatility keep up long term. Again, maybe to keep it up for a year. I would love if it would keep it up for 2 years. That would be life changing. But just every market that I've ever seen, and I know everybody's going to say this is unlike any market ever, that's fine. But just saying every market that I've ever seen, we have a huge spike in volume, interest, and volatility, and it putters off and it disappears for a while before it comes back. So during that downtime, if you are having to pay for your bills, pay for your family, pay your mortgage, whatever, you're going to be under a lot of stress. That's where stress comes in. Or if you're doing this on the side and trying to earn additional income on top of something else you're doing, that's going to keep it low stress. The last thing you want to be doing is forcing trades in a stressful environment where you have to get the bills paid. So that's something that I would just want everyone to think about if you are looking to do this full time while quitting another job. Just know that it is not likely for this to keep up. I see people talking about gains and saying, if this keeps up and we see 30% returns every month like we've been seeing in 2017, then in 2019 we'll have $1 million. And I just look at that and say, man, you cannot assume that this kind of market is going to keep up. It's just, maybe it will, and that would be great, but you cannot make that plan. If you're having a lifelong plan here, that's too much of a gamble to assume that's going to happen. So let's look at the analysis now. Bitcoin, daily time frame. So we have our bounce, we have our high at the bounce, higher low, higher high, and now we're consolidating again. And no red flags. The volume, you can see a little bit less bear volume than bull volume. Keeping an eye on the daily MACD cross that's closing in, potential for a bull cross here. And we have our top at 4130. And currently, the bulls are looking to form a higher low. And the 4-hour time frame is really what told me today was going to be a pretty tight day. And I could tell that right about this candlestick. And that's because we hit our high we started to pull back. It looked like we had our higher low set, which at this point it still is, and that's at 38.50. So that's a new support the bulls want to hold to keep this higher low pattern on the hourly time frame intact. This is actually the 4-hour time frame, but that's the new key support. And then once we hit this top of the bounce, and I could tell the bulls were running out of momentum and we weren't going to see a move back to test 41.25, 41.30, then I could tell, okay, we're gonna see a real tight 4-hour time frame, and late night tonight or early tomorrow morning, it's when it's going to break at the soonest, unless we see news come out, which I'm not going to anticipate. So here, right now, the range is 38.50 support, 40.49 resistance, and you can see the bulls are just now with this doji trying to form a slightly higher low. And at this point, it is a higher low at 38.74, but we have a bearish MACD cross following through. So just very cautious. I personally am not going to make any trade until we break from this tightening range. And a lot of people that are new to technical analysis, they say, you know, they come on these videos and they say, you're not predicting anything. You're not telling us what's going to happen. And they don't really realize the concept of technical analysis, where I don't have to predict a thing that's going to happen. All I'm doing is reacting. I'm looking for tightening ranges. I'm looking for a break of those tightening ranges, and I'm reacting to it, and I'm jumping on that momentum and making my trades. So I don't need to say, you know, oh, in 2 days we're going to be up at 4,300, because that's just a guess and it's a prediction. And I'm going to be in the here and the now and watching the range continue to tighten. And when the range breaks, if it's a bear break, I know to step back and wait for oversold conditions for short-term bounces. If it's a bull break, I know to get in and ride further upside. So tightening range to watch. We can look at it more detailed on the hourly time frame. High, low, lower high, higher low, tightening range. This is a potential bear flag on the hourly time frame, where you have a dump and then a weak bounce attempt on weak volume, and it's in a parallel channel of support and resistance. And then it's a continuation pattern where you then see continuation to the downside, and the bear flag gets confirmed when you break the low. So if 38.74 were to break, that would be a bear flag, and I can actually do a better bear flag here just by getting more details to make sure that my trend line is a little bit tighter. And I had this earlier. I delete all my lines for the videos to start fresh to not be confusing. But it's not exactly parallel, but this is the channel. And actually, you could do it like that, or I had it like this earlier and it had a bear break. But where we currently stand right here, you could do it like this as well. It's a little bit more broadening, but it's close enough of a parallel channel to be watching, where compared to the dump, the amount of bounce that we've taken back is about a third of that dump. So that to me tells me this is a weak bounce, because it's taken plenty of time and it's only taken back a third of those losses from that pullback. So definitely have to be cautious where we stand. And again, I'm just waiting for a break on this 4-hour time frame to look for clarity and direction. And just want to recap for yesterday's video how I was talking about the 15-minute RSI getting oversold, and that was being my trade, and I wasn't going to do anything until that happened. Those were perfect entries overnight. If your alerts went off, the crypto alerts, with a 15-minute oversold RSI, all three of the big three dropped to 15-minute oversold and then saw really nice bounces through the rest of the morning. So that was a really nice entry opportunity early in the morning Eastern time. And that would be a scenario where I'd be looking for oversold bounces again if we break bearish and see this bear flag with continuation to the downside. Ethereum on the daily time frame, very similar. Low, high, higher, low, higher, high. Bull MACD cross is right on the verge here. We're touching almost. So a lot closer to following through. Inside bar, if you saw the video I put out yesterday describing the crypto alert system a bit more in depth. And if not, check the YouTube channel. It's on the crypto playlist. But inside bars, this is what we're going to be watching. And if we see a bull break of this inside bar at 301, we're going to be looking for further upside, and a target would be 316 would be the next target level. So zooming in on the 4-hour time frame to see the same consolidation pattern, we have higher lows, lower highs, tightening range. So right now, the short-term key support for me is right there, and the key resistance is right there. That's the channel that I'm currently watching. 275.25 support, 292.99 resistance. So about a $24, $22, $20-something range, and it's tightening. So we're watching on the hourly time frame. Again, potential for a little bear flag here. Have to watch to see if it follows through with continuation down. It's just still a weak bounce at this point with a lack of bull volume and a lack of recovery. Haven't really made back. We had 5 big bear volume pullback candlesticks, and now we have 4 bounce candlesticks attempting to recover, and it's just not doing much at all. So the range, 275.25, 292.99. and that is more like a $17 range, so a little bit tighter. So same thing with Ethereum, checking back to last night. What was the alert for the trade entry? 15-minute RSI oversold, and in 1 hour, we bounced from 275 to 288. And that $10 move is a very solid gain. Even a $5 move these days, I'll take that. That's a solid gain. And to see that happen so quickly, that's why I love these oversold bounces. Give me those gains quick. Let me get in and out, and then reassess the situation. Litecoin on the daily time frame is even tighter than those other two names. And we have our low and the high happening in the same candlestick. Higher low, lower high, straight across, inside bar on the daily. 51.38 is a bear break. 56.86 is a bull break for these inside bars. Not as close to a bullish MACD cross, so right now it is Ethereum the closest, Bitcoin in the middle, and Litecoin is the farthest from a bullish MACD cross on the daily. Looking at the 4 hour, watching it tighten as well, we have our high, low, lower high, higher low. So right now the key support I'm watching is 51.38, and the key resistance, I broke my chart. There we go. So right now, the key support is 51.38, and the key resistance is the high of this little bounce attempt, and that's up at 55.92. And just watching the tightening range, we're on the verge of a bearish MACD cross, so not forcing anything in this range. Hourly bounce is weak compared to the pullback, compared to the bear volume. Just patience, and probably not going to see another trade tonight, maybe tomorrow morning. And just watching for a break of the 4 hour time frame. 15-minute RSI on Litecoin last night. Dipped down into the low 20s. Very solid bounce in a half an hour, 51.38 up to 53.87. And if you held on through the morning, big time gains, 51.38 all the way up to 55.92. That's a 7 or so % gain through the morning, signaled by 15-minute oversold RSI. And you could tell the setup. Again, go back and watch that video yesterday if you haven't done it, and watch how I was looking for a 15-minute oversold bounce due to the setup preceding bedtime, and that's what I was looking for. So Bitcoin BCH here. And we're establishing a line in the sand of 300. And that's very clear after the reaction we've seen now of this last touch. And you can see all this price action around it previously. A lot of back and forth, a lot of price action. That was the line in the sand before the bulls rocketed. And here we are, line in the sand again. This is now the most important number for this cryptocurrency. If we break 300, the bears are going to take over longer term, and I would look to test 190 again. So 300 held, bullish reversal hammer, seeing some nice follow through. And at this point, we're still forming a lower high pattern, and we're going to form a lower high no matter what, unless we see big time news. But we have our high, lower high at 719, and now I'm anticipating a lower high here on the verge of a bull MACD cross as well, but no idea where it's going to happen. Could happen at 500, could happen at 650, but the way that this is playing out, more likely than not, significantly more likely than not, we will see a lower high compared to 719. And in order for the bulls to change this trend on the daily, we're going to have to then see a higher low and a higher high to break the lower high pattern. We're not going to have the momentum. The volume is not here to break it right off this low and expect to go to 719 from here. We're going to have to consolidate and get that higher low and higher high. 4 hour time frame, pretty extended, although of RSI not too much so. So we do have a clear higher low pattern, 407, 454, and trying to form another higher low up here. Inside bar is forming on the 4 hour time frame to be watching. And if we lose the higher low pattern on the 4 hours, then we know that our high of the bounce has been set, and we will then look to form a higher low on the daily time frame that I was just talking about. So very nice move for the bulls. We did get pretty extended on the hourly RSI. You can see the big upper wicks of profit taking and then some pullback. So at this point, only making an entry after consolidation, after this RSI cools off a little bit. But again, being aware, just having that overlying thought that, okay, we're going to set a lower high, so I don't want to get trapped in a position and be holding the bag when we begin to consolidate for multiple days. So just being prepared for that and using the shorter term time frames with more details to try and pinpoint when that is happening. So that's a lot of talking. I hope you all have a wonderful night, and we will see you tomorrow. Keep an eye out for that 4 hour breaking pattern sometime, likely tomorrow morning.